I want to talk about, and I know people want us to talk about this Kendrick release and Kendrick being back outside and, yada yada, keep the same energy, blah, blah, blah. We will keep the same energy because we got to hear the music. But first things first, though, I want to talk about how this has affected Pusha T and how it feels like everyone has heard Pusha T's project. Now, me personally, I want to support Pusha T and what he got going on. And a big fan of Daytona, big fan of Pusha T, period. So I don't want to listen to the album until Friday. I know some of you guys out there probably heard about, I mean, not heard about it, probably have heard the album because y'all on our Twitter feeds talking about you've heard it and what you think about it. We're not going to actually review it till Friday. But I do think that the fact that his rollout has been so long and extensive and done in such an old school way, it has really messed up his release. And to put more on top of that, 10 minutes, literally 10 minutes after he announces when his album is coming out, which will be this Friday, 10 minutes after that, Kendrick Lamar comes with some cryptic, weird message on his website that we're going to get to and says that he has a release date. So now, all this rollout, all these interviews has been overshadowed by an MC who hadn't dropped an album in 5 years actually giving people a release date. I've said a lot. I want to start with the fact that who's to blame here, Coop, for this botch of a rollout? I'm just going to call it what it is. And I love Pusha T. I'm sure some of his people listen to our show or, many of his fans listen to our show. Who's responsible for this botched rollout for Pusha T?
I hate to say I told you so, but I told you last year I didn't like how this was shaping up. I didn't like how long it was taking, and I understand as well as anybody, life happens, and sometimes it happens for the unfortunate, and it affects your timeline of the way that you perform at your job. But I told you I didn't like this rollout, and I told you I didn't like the length of the rollout. We live in a get it and give it up fast type of time and culture, and you just have to you gotta load up the clip and then put the clip in, yeah, and then take the gun off safety, and only then will you cock it back and let people know, because you have to fire and fire fast. Like you can't walk around. I got a gun. I got other people gonna start shooting. Other people gonna start shooting if you tell them you got a gun. And so he been walking around like, hey, I got the biggest, baddest gun. I got the biggest, baddest gun. Well, other people gonna start shooting. That's what happened. And I told you, like this whole Pharrell thing, a problem from the jump. Like, Mike, what did I tell you wasn't it a couple days ago? Didn't we talk like 2 days ago? 2 days ago? Mm-hmm. This is an old rapper listening to an old producer because he's his friend. And it's very problematic. And this is what happens when you don't stay fresh. And I say this with all due respect because it's the first time I've said it in praise. Kanye is a big ass kid. He thinks like a child creatively. That is why he is so great at taking grown ass rappers in their 30s and 40s, Jay-Z, Common, Pusha T, and making classic material with them. He's a big ass kid. Pharrell's not a big ass kid. So you listen to an old producer. Because the last time Pharrell produced like a hip hop classic to me, it was with Chad when they did Hell Hath No Fury for the Clips.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm a Neptune guy, and I'm a Kanye fan too. I'm a fan of both of them because they're creators. Let me get to these super chats real quick so I can finish my thought. Ray Rim says, "What's that?"
I said I'm not finished either.
Oh no, okay, I'll let you finish. My bad. Ray Rim says, "Did you brothers get my Cash App and the message making in text form document for the rap list, so we can copy and paste your categories?" You know what? We actually got something coming for that. I didn't see that message. We'll check for the Cash App or whatnot. Appreciate that too. But yeah, we're gonna do something with the rating system where people can have that in tangible form, just like the yearbook and all of that. KL of 007 Says, guys, don't forget the super chat from Friday. Nas and Biggie's relationship chilling in Queens in the early 90s. Jay fooling the public, making it appear that he was closer to Big than he really was. Um, in my opinion, same high school don't mean nothing. This is true. This is true. Man, y'all are really shouting us out with the super chat. We got Blue Collar Hustle with another one. He says, blame. What blame? This is hip hop. Jay released on the same day as Tribe and Cass. Nas released it the same day as Peak Jeezy. Push is going to have to do what he was going to do regardless of Kendrick. This is interesting. Okay, this is what I'm going to say. I think that when it comes to Kanye and Pharrell, I love the Neptunes. You know I do. I think that Kanye is more in tune with hip hop, and where Pharrell might be more in tune with tastemakers and creatives, and Kanye is too. But like when it comes to that core hip hop shit and doing things in the hip hop way, that's all Kanye. And this rollout was very old school, and it left Pusha T wide open for, like you said, you out here talking about you got album of the year, album of the year, album of the year. You're doing interviews 2-3 weeks, I guess, out before we actually have a date. You're not giving people a date. The record label has sent this album out to everybody. Noriega said he had it in his files. Charlemagne said he had it. He listened to it when he did that interview. Okay, people are going to get their hands on it. And when you finally give a date, then let's just keep it real. The bigger artist comes through that everybody's been waiting on for a long time and gives a date. And now we're not really, I am, but the public's not anticipating this Pusha T project as they should. And with it out there and people already seeing that Kendrick got music, they're like, we're not waiting to Friday. We're going to go out here and see if we can find this shit. And people have found it. And so the buzz is gone. And this was a missed opportunity in the sense that this album should have came that week that we thought it was going to come, right after the Nego project. Now go ahead. You finish your train of thought. I'm sorry, because I could go on, and I will, because there's a lot messed up about this.
Well, let's just circle the wagons back around on Pharrell again, and the fact that we keep talking about, well, Pharrell produced this. I keep on telling you, where's Chad?
Yeah.
I want to hear the Neptunes if they're doing Pusha T stuff more than I want to hear Pharrell doing Pusha T stuff. And this is why, because it's like you're gonna lose some edge when you get tracks with Kanye and then tracks where you hear Pharrell without Chad. It's gonna lose some edge. And he hasn't made a hip hop classic album since Hell Hath No Fury with Chad. That was 2007. And so that's what I mean about, like, I wasn't liking it, because here's the thing about it, and you might be right about this. Kanye might have seen this too and been like, I don't like this. I'm out. Take these 6 heaters. I gotta go.
Listen, this is the first time, and we cover this all the time. We cover new music all the time, right? This is the first time I've seen a track list leak on like message boards before the artist has an opportunity to put it out. It's damn near like the niggas getting sabotaged. Now, somebody in the chat said Drake did it. I think that's funny. But I also believe that quote-unquote Jack Harlow song that was leaked where Drake was talking his shit, he clearly heard the Pusha T album himself. Or that wouldn't even leak. Like, why is it now that Drake is saying something? He heard something.
I don't like how comfortable everybody's feeling. I hope he is receiving and hearing all of this, and that track list that we just got is changing as we speak.
It's not. And then you got that whole thing where Kid Cudi's out here talking about this is the last song you're going to hear him and Kanye on. Like, what are we talking about? Is this part of the marketing too? Like
what?
Like let's keep it all the way real. Kid Cudi says a lot of shit We have no idea like where his headspace is. We're gonna hear another song with Kid Cudi and Kanye West before it's all said and done. So I don't even know where that came from or what that was on, but the marketing and rollout for this project, I think this is a defining moment for anybody who thought that the old school way of rollouts could still work today. This is the prime example that it will not and cannot. Jay-Z doesn't even roll out albums like this anymore. When he dropped 444, which was 5 years ago, he just dropped it. He had those cryptic signs everywhere, but it wasn't like he was doing all these interviews leading up to it, letting you hear a song here, letting you hear a song here. Nah, that don't work.
So it's like I said, it almost is like I almost feel like this is exactly how it feels to me. Like Pharrell is over there telling Push, like, well, you've never done it like this before. Let's do it like this.
This
like,
is how the stars do it.
This is how you do it when you're in the big time, though, Push. And it's like, no, nigga, he already is big time.
Don't be a mixtape rapper, Push.
No, Mike. Drake ain't been the same since Push dropped it. Like, what are we talking about? Why? What is the point? What point is there to prove it?
You know what? This is the meaning of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're gonna review the album Friday with an open ear because I see some people in the chat saying that we hating on it before it comes out, but not hating on it.
No.
I'm just saying that the rollout's trash.
No. I mean, damn all that, Mike. No, not even damn all that. Because that matters too. Because the rollout is old school as hell and it's not working. 2 points, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
You see how Nas just dropped Magic, right? That's how I know it's not album of the year, because it's like, no, if he had it like that, he could just drop it like that. And also, too, Hear Me Clearly is on there. That's a good record. That record wouldn't make Daytona.
Somebody in the chat said something that I was going to get to as well. He played his card in this situation. How do I say it without sounding disrespectful or dismissive? When he released that date, like I said, he released his date, what was it, was it Monday? At 1:51 on his Twitter, or 1:53. Kendrick Lamar comes at 2:01. And he's telling you, I got an album coming out 3 weeks from now. It made people forget about the person that got an album coming out in days. And in that stance, it kind of puts it out there you don't have the juice right now. Now, I hope the music proves otherwise. But if we're talking about from a buzz standpoint, all of that work, all of that legwork, doing all the interviews with Deuce Mero, with Charlemagne, with Hot 97, which were dope interviews, it got thrown out the window by a crazy cryptic tweet from Kendrick Lamar. Shout out to Daryl Baxter. He says, y'all off on this one. I bought tickets to his show, and they upgraded the venue because they said it sold out so fast. The rollout helped the tour. Okay.
What, for who? Push?
Push.
No, I mean, we're talking about the music, though. We're not talking about him performing or selling out shows.
So I guess you can look at it from that standpoint where, okay, the rollout helped his place in the market. Is it going to help the album?
I mean, the basis of this show is like mostly to review the musical side of things, correct? I mean,
we talk about it all, but
Yeah, but we try to keep the core of it at the music, and I'm saying this rollout musically sucks, right? Right. So it's like, I understand that he might be like getting a larger crowd and audience, and then it's going to bring in the question, well, how are we going to be sustaining this audience?
You know what? We could be off, because a lot of people in the chat saying that we're off, and
my favorite. So I mean,
you know what? I'm a huge Pusha T fan, and some people are saying that the album is serious. Again, I refuse to listen to it until Friday. I'm gonna wait till Friday. I kind of want to listen to it with fresh ears, and we speak on it then.
Is anybody saying that this album of the year at Daytona? Because I keep hearing people. Is anybody saying that? Because I don't hear any of that. That's where everybody needs to start falling silent then, because it's like, well, that's what he was saying since late last year,
Jarv
right?
says, y'all realize that Kendrick and Push occupy two different lanes. I mean, it could be two different lanes, but there's only one king, right? Smoking
Competitive,
on your top five.
competitive sport.
Smoking on your top five. And you know what? I think I got to give Kendrick that move. For people who say they're the best in the game and this and that, all he had to do was put out a tweet, and that was everything everybody was talking about that day. Now, as Pusha fans, we can say whatever we want.
Right.
But on Monday, the talk of the town or the talk of the hip hop circles wasn't April 22nd. It was May 13th. And we have been waiting for that April 22nd date for months, right? We got to be honest with ourselves now.
Right. Let's not get lost. We got to look at the moment as it's literally occurring. That's what I'm saying. It's just like I'm looking at how it's occurring, and I'm like, hold on, how did we get to the end of April anyway with this project? And was it worth that?
Yeah. I mean, I hope so. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, and I think where a lot of people are getting lost in what we're saying, I think things would have been stronger if he would have just dropped this album that's clearly complete at the beginning of April. What actually strengthened this release by waiting to April 22nd? If anything, I feel like it got diminished by the announcement that Kendrick made literally 10 minutes later.
So I have a question for you right quick, Mike, and maybe the people can help me.
Mm-hmm.
You remember his first album, My Name Is My Name, correct?
Correct.
I still think that is his second best album next to Daytona. I think My Name Is My Name is a great album. I don't think it's a classic album. I think it's a great album, though, because he's pretty epic on there, and he has some moments. I'm about to name 5 songs off My Name Is My Name. And I want to ask you what you've heard that's better than these records. Numbers on the Board, King Push, Who Am I with Big Sean and 2 Chainz, Nostalgia with Kendrick, and Pain with Future. Have you heard anything better than those songs off of this?
Nah, not so far.
And so when Kanye
not definitively.
Right. So it's like, okay, so the expectation immediately needs to be more closer to My Name Is My Name than Daytona, is really what I'm just trying to say respectively. And they're kind of
No. I feel you, and I'm with you until Push is out here saying it's album of the year. Well, and we got to treat him like we treat Kendrick, because we're going to get to him too.
Well, Mike, that's what I was trying to say. I said, except for the fact, well, that was my final thought, was like, except for the fact that they are walking around acting like it's Daytona. I'm talking about in reality, like they're walking around acting like they're giving us something Daytona-ish. And what I'm saying is it really based on what I'm hearing is like, we need to be happy if we get My Name Is My Name.
Yeah. I agree with that. I like Diet Coke a lot. And I think that with Diet Coke and the video that they put out for it, I think what should have happened, and again, just my personal opinion as a fan, I think right after Diet Coke came out, they should have put that album out. Now, whatever was going on with the Nigo thing, I don't even know why he even had to wait on that either. That I don't think that really helped or hurt in any kind of way. They could have came out the same day if they wanted to. That's a compilation album. It really doesn't matter like that, right? Because Nigo's not like a musician or anything. He makes his life doing something else. So I think after we heard Diet Coke and got a visual for it, we should have gotten that album. And then, then people start talking about the Jay-Z record. Because there's not going to be a video for the Jay-Z record. So what are we waiting on anyway? You know what I mean? Just drop it. And then that would have put the pressure on Kendrick, honestly.
Right.
But now the pressure is, it is what it is. People have already made a foregone conclusion that Kendrick has album of the year. And they ain't even heard Pusha's yet.
We didn't say that either.
We didn't say that. People are saying that.
I mean, that's just how people feel.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna get to Kendrick in a minute because we're gonna get to that playlist that I made because I noticed something. We're gonna get to that in a minute. But as far as the Pusha thing is concerned, I think like, I mean, this doesn't change his greatness. I'm not trying to like take him down a notch. All I'm saying is that, well, maybe Kanye should have just did this project again, a la Common with Finding Forever after B.
Yeah.
Or something that has a lot of highlights and you can put in the upper echelon of your catalog, even if it's not that same album. Finding Forever is pretty great to me. I think there's some amazing stuff.
I like Finding Forever a lot.
Me too. I really enjoy that album. I look at that album in the same vein. I think it's better than My Name Is My Name.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, me too.
I Want You's a dope record.
I was thinking about You Black Maybe. I love You Black Maybe.
Black Maybe's a dope record too. I like The Game.
Game.
I like
You've Come the Dilla joint they redid.
I even like Southside.
Yeah, Southside's dope. The People.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, The Show. The start off to the album, The Show is dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. There's heat on there. And so what I'm saying is that my expectations were more along that. Like you're going back to re-up with Ye and y'all gonna kind of do that Be Finding Forever thing where it's like, oh, another great album to follow up a classic album. This just feels like we're about to get a really good album.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like, well, that goes back to the standard. When we get a really good album from an all-time great MC, we'd be like, hold up, man.
I you know, either people hold Daytona high or they don't. I don't think people understand how high you and I personally hold Daytona. And it's a zone, man, from a production standpoint, from a lyricism standpoint, from a song making standpoint. It does everything. And I know a lot of people's criticisms of Daytona is it's 7 songs, but I'd be hard pressed to find an effort that short that feels that complete.
That's Mike. Like, I mean, technically, Paid in Full, Rakim's only rapping for like 7 songs.
Right.
Illmatic is 9 songs. I mean, if you really want to start getting holy grail on that ass, Mike, Thriller and Purple Rain are only 9 songs.
Right.
You don't need to do an amazing amount of songs to do a complete body of work. You need to put out a complete body of work. It needs to feel like a complete body of work. The Mona Lisa, Mike, when you walk into the Orsay, like when you go in, Mike, like not the Orsay, the Louvre. The Orsay is the other art gallery in Paris. But when you go into the Louvre, you see the Mona Lisa like in person. It's like it's small. It has an effect that resounds like it takes up a whole space on the wall. You would think. The crowd around it is like massive in compared to the actual portrait itself. It doesn't need to be big or grandiose to garner the appropriate or necessary attention in any form of medium in the creative arts. And rap is no different. Daytona feels full at 7 songs because it is. Mike, I'm just thinking about the beats that I've heard. The 3 beats that we've heard versus the first 3 beats that I hear on Daytona, which is If You Know, You Know, the games we play in hard piano. And I'm just like, good night, just off production. I don't care how great he sounds. I know how great he's capable of being. He's been consistently great for 2 decades.
I was talking to you about Stankonia. You know, we were offline or whatnot. I was listening to Stankonia yesterday randomly. And I remember when Stankonia came out, it was coming off of Akumina. So I already was like, you know, I feel like kind of like how I feel about Pusha at this point. I don't have any, like, it's not going to live up to that previous album. And I don't believe this one is either. And it's like, and I'm cool with that. That's how I felt about Stankonia when I listened to it. And I know when I was young, I was off put by the fact that Andre wasn't rapping on every song. And like he was on Akumina. And so I don't feel like I really appreciated Stankonia in the moment like I maybe should have. Now, granted, it's nowhere near Akumina, right? But you could tell that there are some aspects of that album, now that I listen to it again, where this group might not have made a better effort than the previous effort, but they show growth in different ways, right? Saying all that to say, I look at Daytona, like you said, like the Mona Lisa. It's a piece in itself. And I didn't like all of the talk about album of the year, album of the year. Even last year, he was saying album of the year and this and that. And they got this big rollout when it's already complete. I hope it lives up to those standards because I didn't even set those standards. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Like, I would have been cool if he would have just dropped it and it was just another dope effort, like you said. Kind of like a Finding Forever type of thing. But with all of the build up, all of the press, all of the media, it's like,
You got me hyped. Like, oh, you dropping Daytona again? It's like, for real? Because not too many guys. I mean, there are very few guys that come back like after an album like that and give you something comparable. It's
right.
extremely rare. And so that was the rhetoric that was being given to us. And I'm like, no, more like my name is my name-ish based on what I'm hearing. And I'm talking like production-wise because like as an MC, Mike, like, especially like delivery and cadence-wise on a track, oh, well, he can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I'm going to hear some stuff that's going to make me smile and like he's going to do some like because that's what he does. Special technique guy like with that type of stuff. But that doesn't mean the album's about to be great.